And speaking of transgenders and speaking of DEI hires, let's talk a little bit about Pete Hegseth for a moment. Because over the entire weekend, the U.S. Secretary of Defense and the woman-abusing coward, as I would call him, Pete Hegseth, took a page out of his boss's playbook. He took to social media very late on a Saturday night because apparently he has no better things to do, and he hurled insults at another sitting judge, which is a pattern with the Trump administration, who granted, this judge granted an indefinite injunction against President Donald Trump's attempted ban on transgender volunteers and service members in the military. Now, make no mistake about it, this is a bigoted position that so many MAGA Republicans take. I do not care what is between your legs. If you are willing to serve this country and you pass the mental test, you pass the physical test, why should anybody care what is between your legs? You are willing to risk your life for this country. But if you're a moron MAGA Republican, you want to crap on the trans community and the gay community and all that stuff. So U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes issued an injunction against the ban. She wrote about it in her 75-page decision, saying the military ban is soaked in animus and dripping with pretext. Its language is unabashedly demeaning. Its policy stigmatizes transgender persons as inherently unfit, and its conclusions bear no relation to fact. Absolutely and positively, 100%, I agree with what that judge said. And if you really want to talk about incompetence, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I want you guys to have a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Pete Hegseth. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I agree with Stephen A. Smith 150% on his opinions on Pete Hegseth. Have a listen to this.
You can't dispute didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. Hegseth has served our country as a military man. I saw military officers being very supportive of him when he was going through Senate confirmation hearings to become the defense secretary. I'm not here to cast any aspersions on him whatsoever, personal or professional. What I'm saying is that if you're a weekend host on a network and then you turn around and you're the defense secretary of the United States of America, overseeing 3.5 million people, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. It ain't hard to comprehend that that was not something that was earned. There is nothing about the job that he was doing that qualified him for the job he has now. Yet he has it. And it's as defense secretary of the United States of America. I guess as the saying goes, only in America.
I agree with Stephen A. Smith 150%. I certainly don't always agree with him, but when it comes to Pete Hegseth, he is 150% correct. Now, if Pete Hegseth wasn't going after a judge and wasn't going after transgenders over the weekend, he removed Colin Powell's name from a list of notable Americans buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Hegseth also removed the names of every person of color and every woman on that same list. Only white men were left in place. I believe there is a direct correlation to that and Pete Hegseth having a tattoo on his body that says 100% white, because he is a bigot, and I believe he is a white supremacist sympathizer, and according to his own mother, a woman abuser. And this is the guy who Donald Trump picked to be the Secretary of Defense. And just today, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Hegseth proved once again why he should not be in the position that he's in, and he certainly didn't have the credentials to do so. So Pete Hegseth, today, hours ago, inadvertently let a reporter have access to highly sensitive real-time planning discussions and the subsequent bombing attack with the VP and most senior members of the Trump cabinet and national security team in on the discussions. This is why I said before, and I say again, Pete Hegseth is a national embarrassment. He should not be in the position that he's in. He is unqualified for the position. He couldn't even run a business with 100 people, ran that into the ground. And now he is only the second person in this country behind Donald Trump who has our nuclear codes. Can there be anybody in this country that is okay with that? Can there be anybody in this country that is okay with the position that Pete Hegseth is in? Is there anybody in this country with a brain that is okay with Tulsi Gabbard being in the position that she is in, being a Russian asset who failed to even call out Assad? Is there anybody that thinks that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with zero, let me repeat, zero medical credentials, to be in the position that he is in charge of our health. And for all you idiots out there on the far right that say, oh, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's going to ban certain foods. No, he's not. First of all, he's never even said that he was going to do that. And second of all he said was he wants people to know what's in their food. That's not banning certain foods. He hasn't come up with any clear view or position on how he's going to do what he's going to do. It's a joke. And Kash Patel, a man who literally has a hit list in his book of people that he is going to go after, they've already done it, ladies and gentlemen, and they're going to continue to do it. It's embarrassing. It's a joke. And Pete Hegseth is just a microcosm of what the Republican Party is today. They don't talk about the real issues. They certainly haven't done anything, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to a peace deal or even a ceasefire in Ukraine. And you look at the Israel-Palestinian conflict, Donald Trump saying that we were going to own Gaza and he was going to turn it into the Trump Taj Mahal certainly has not helped the situation any. I think some people could argue it's actually made the situation worse. The reality of the situation is that egg prices are still up $3 since Donald Trump took office, but I don't hear MAGA Republicans talking about inflation now or complaining about inflation. Why is that? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Donald Trump campaigned off of, on day one, I'm going to lower the price of groceries and gas, and yet throughout the country, the average price of gas has not plummeted or dropped, and groceries have not dropped. In fact, you can make the argument to the other side of it. And this is how stupid these MAGA Republicans are. On Newsmax and Fox News, they're bragging about egg prices are down. Yeah, they're down from where they were 2 weeks ago. They're not down from where they were on day one when Donald Trump took office. You MAGA right-wing dope imbeciles, you inbred morons.